Good morning, good people. Welcome back to Rose Salwa YouTube channel. We are about vulnerability. Umechelewa.
Oh.
Silikuwa unini.
Take two.
Good morning, good people. Karibuni sana. Welcome back to Rose Salwa. Here we are about
vulnerability, acceptance, and hope.
Thank you. If you're new here, you've just received a link and seen our content, or it just popped up on your screen. Thank you so much for considering to click to open it in the first place. Please consider subscribing. If you want to know more about what the content we create, please go back to the previous videos and you will get to see the content we create here at Rose Salwa. Meanwhile, asante sana. Please, I give you a minute or a second to subscribe, and remember to hit the subscription notification bell so that anytime we upload any new content, you will be able to see it. Those of us that have been here since we were very few and you consume our content, thank you very much. We really appreciate and celebrate you. You realize of late we have been coming Rose and Salwa. Yes, we have becoming Rose Salwa because we have been talking matters marriage.
Yes.
Ndoa, matters marriage, and we share this content very vulnerably. So we want to play a game, but before then, ambush. We want to play a game, but before then, a friend of ours got us these cards.
Love wins.
Yes. Don't know whether you can see. Love wins.
Yes.
So we are supposed to play a game, but before we play that game, somebody asked me or asked us many times, how did you know she was the one? Or how did you know he was the one? This is a discussion among the young professionals, people that are ready to get married, that is 23 and above. It's a discussion. So we don't know how other people knew that he was the one or she was the one, but we want to share our
start.
story. Why don't you want to start? You don't know whether I'm the one.
I want to know how you knew.
How did you know? You will start because I have been speaking since the start of the video. Anyway, so we do not know, or I do not know how other people or other couples got to know that person was the one, but we will share our story on how we knew, how I knew he was the one, or how he knew I was the one. And yes, both of us will get to share on this video. So please, Your Excellency, Your Excellency, Your Excellency. Sawa, wacha nitoe hiyo line. Your Excellency, my prophet, my priest, my king, my prophet. My prophet, my king, the priest. The priest, my prayer partner, my confidant, stressor number one, priest. How did you know that she was the one?
Apopa stressor, totally view.
But it is true. There's no one
who stresses me the most.
You also stress me. You stress me more than I stress you.
How did I know that you are the one?
I am the stress you want to keep.
Oh, I tell you. In fact, I was looking for the weakness. Can I bear with these weaknesses? One, for me, it's born out of a friendship. It's born out of a friendship. We had interacted without specializing with one another for quite a while. And so there were basic things about your faith, your character.
Si ni mimi unasema kuhusu.
So nisiangalie
Useme tu there was something about her faith, her character. If it is me you are talking about.
See, I'm talking about you. That's why I'm saying your faith,
your character.
Is a third party
Oh.
somewhere else. Kizungu, my friend, ni hii ndio pia kusaidiwa, ninamsaidia miaka hii 6.
Sawa, nisaidie lakini wacha nikusonge.
So having interacted freely for a while, I think for 1 year and slightly above. For 1 year and slightly above 1 year. We interacted a lot, almost on a daily basis, because
tulijuana 2013 January.
Yes.
That's the first time you saw me.
Yes.
And then you asked me 2014 16th January. Next.
See February.
February was the second time. The first time that time I came to visit you in your Mabati house.
So for that 1 year, we had been interacting. We had been traveling for missions. We are Christians, so would not travel for any other purpose, but traveling for missions or any functions that would allow us to travel together. And we never traveled just the two of us. We were always in the company of others. So particularly on the mission fields, when we would go for missions, that is a place where you know, people don't fake it. People are very real. It's one of those opportunities that you get to know this person before they apply makeup, if they are in the business of applying makeup and all that. It is that is an environment where one is actually stretched so much that you can see what happens when they are annoyed, what happens when, you know, such things. So out of that, and we were interacting as a team, I was able then to see, well, I think I like your character. I love the fact that you're first and foremost committed to God, that you're willing to actually to put aside any pleasurable things, but spend time to do what God has called us, and indeed all of us, what God has called us to do. So having known that this person is committed to God, this person has a good character, there are weaknesses here and there, and we all have weaknesses, and then just made a decision that this is a person that I would actually consider having close to me for the rest of our life. So for me, how did I know? It was out of knowledge, and that knowledge was not only my personal knowledge. I knew you, yes, as an individual, but there were also elderly people. You know, there are specific two men that had observed your life, and they approved of you. I went to one of our spiritual, is it spiritual? Our fathers. Let's call him our father. He's of course our spiritual father, but even beyond that, he's just our father. So I went to him, and in fact, we were going for a mission, and he asked me, just the two of us. He's actually a mentor to me. He asked me, "Hey, do you have a girlfriend?" And I said, "I have one in Gilgil." And he said, "Have you not seen this one?" And yeah, I've been considering.
So it was a hookup.
Achana na hiyo maneno ya hookup.
Si uliambiwa.
It was a conversation. So I had seen, but I had not committed or said anything about it. Then I went to another one. Of course, I went back to him when I decided that I think I want to get in a relationship with you. I went to our father. Don't know if I can mention him here. I went to him and I asked him, well, I'm considering having a relationship with this girl. We had a conversation. I went to another elderly man who is my friend until to date, and I asked him. He had an opportunity of traveling for almost a whole week on the road with
3 days.
3 days on the road from Kenya to Mozambique.
Yes.
North
coast
coast
of Mozambique.
Yeah, north coast of
Mocimboa
Mozambique.
da Praia.
So they had been in experiences during the night, you know, all those experiences. Plus, we had gone for many missions with this mzee, and so he had had a lot of interactions with Rosie. So I asked him, and he said she's a good girl. Now, with the witnesses of two mature, born-again men, me, I was sorted. So that is how I got to know now. This one is the one. Of course, I was doing my personal prayer, asking God, would it be? But you see, I don't know about others, but for me, on this matter, God did not say this. I did not hear this voice from heaven, and the heavens opened, and the voice said, behold, this shall be your wife. I did not hear such a thing. It was my conviction confirmed by two mature believers who had observed her life, had watched her life, and they confirmed that this is a person that we can actually recommend because of her character and her commitment to God. So that is how I got to know.
That's how you knew she was the one?
Yes, not she was.
Oh.
You are the one, yeah.
All right. So,
Sema.
You have been waiting.
Yes.
So how I knew he was the one, for me it wasn't clear because I have a history of a bad relationship with men and wounds. So for one, I didn't know that I was going to get married. It was not somewhere in my head. And I was not considering a working relationship, a marriage, something like that. I was not thinking about it because one, I had a child, and in our community or in my home, when you have a child, you can't get married. At least that is what I was told, that you are not going to get married. So I knew if I am going to get married, I will not get married to a fresh person. Fresh to mean somebody who has never been married. So I knew my portions were divorcee or a widower. Those are the people I was going to get married to, or just stay single like that forever. So those were my only three options. Yes, I was born again. I was working with God, but it was not somewhere in my head because I knew this person, after they have known I have a child, even if they had plans, they will cancel them because it had happened. I had dated somebody before him. I had dated somebody for 1.5 years, and when they once told me, they knew I had a child, but then they said, Rosie, I surely truly love you, but this idea of you having a child has never settled in my heart. And I knew. I actually broke up with him after that statement. But we continued dating, but I just moved emotionally. I moved and left. But then with time I realized this guy, I think he noted that I am moving away, and then he also moved on. So we broke up. So I knew this is what was going to be happening because he was also a Christian in church and so on and so forth. He was a good guy. So how I knew it was Salwa, of course, Salwa was my friend. He was a friend. Cube, their hostel up there. He used to stay close, next door neighbor to my classmate who was my good friend. And that we used to meet frequently. Meet in Katoloni, blah. Before prayer, we go for missions together. So for that 1 year, I also got to know him. But I didn't know him. It didn't cross my mind that this guy, I thought about it, that this guy would be a good husband. But of course it was not for me, because me, I was I had disqualified myself, so to say. So 16th of January 2014, at school, there was recruitment of new students. Orientation has come. So one of the students from Nigeria asked me to take them to Karen to go see a barber, to go and shave. So I took them, and then after that, Salwa had asked me that I had never known where he stays, and his friend was coming over. So I go so that I know where he stays, somewhere in Karinde. So I went. So while we were there, he told me that he loved me. And me, I was like, see, Jesus has loved you, so that you share that love with others. So that's how I responded. So 6th of February, the same month, the following month. So before you graduate from Bachelor's of Theology, you have to do a practicum where you go preaching. So Salwa had asked me to be taking him to Kitengela for missions. So I used to take him every Sunday. So this particular Sunday we went, and then I asked him to also pass anipitishie salon. Hiyo kizungu inafaa kuaje? Take me through the salon. Oh, take me to the salon would imply you are going to pay.
No.
So we accompany me to the salon. So he accompanied.
I was not paying bills.
I accompanied.
Husband privileges not yet.
So I accompanied him to the church. He accompanied me to the salon, and then by the time we were getting to town, it was around 4-5. Then we decided to go and eat chipo. So we bought chipo hapo Ambassador.
Oh.
It was Ambassador hapo. Tyrese, inaitwa Tyrese ama inaitwa Tennis. Those fast food you buy and stand. So we bought chipo, ya kuweka kwa makaratasi, and we went upstairs. So as we were eating, he repeated that thing again. He said, whether I had thought about what he had said. So me, I was like, hey, you young man, do you even know what you want in this life? So I asked him, do you know what it means to be in a relationship with me? Then he said, yes, I know. I am asking to be a father of a 5-year-old. That's how I knew he is the one.
You didn't say yes.
Yes, I didn't, but I knew. The question is, how did you know he was the one? That's how I knew he is the one. Because that showed me that he thought about, that is something that disturbed me. So that showed me that he saw me beyond my failures. He saw me beyond what I thought about myself. That's what one. Number 2 is that how I knew he was the one is that I perceived him as somebody, though I didn't have a proof, but I perceived him as somebody who loved God genuinely. And so I knew, sorry. So I perceived him as somebody who loved God genuinely. And so I found my security there. I knew, this person loves God. So I didn't want to be cheated on. So because he loved God, I knew he is not going to do anything that would make me sin. And he is not going to do anything that he is not going to do anything that would sin against God and sin against me. So he will not cheat. So I knew with this one, I have security in God. So brethren, that's how the two of us knew. He knew I was the one. I knew he was the one. With time, let me say we have enjoyed life together. We enjoy life together. There are things we don't fight about. Like we don't fight about money. There are things we don't fight about. We don't fight about, I am suspecting you are cheating with so and so. insecurities or those things. Of course, there are other things we fight about, but not those ones. Basic, the things that are very... I would not feel insecure if he woke up today and went with his friends. I don't know where, and he will come back tomorrow. I will just be thinking, how will you be leaving your pregnant wife? You go and sleep outside. But not that he will be doing anything. So that is it for us. We don't know any other question. We are not sure of any other question that you could be having. But thank you so much for being part of Rose Salwa. Thank you for consuming this content. Please share. Leave a comment. Tell us, what is it that we can talk about? What is it that you would want us to discuss? And be sure that we will do it. In our next video is when we will play the game. For now, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.